Welcome back to Playday 2 of Blaster 6 EUL Stage 2. My name's Ian alongside Fresh and Alfama here on the desk. We're having a great time. We hope you are too, and we are just getting started here today. I was about to say on this Monday, but it's Tuesday. I don't even know what day it is. I'm having that much fun. Wolves VP is up next, right? We've already seen Wolves play. We haven't seen VP yet. We'll get to them, but Wolves. Let's start with them, Leo. You liked what you saw yesterday.
Yeah, it was very convincing. Way more convincing than EWC. I think in general, the arrival of the two fresh pickups is giving more space to P4 and Mugli to really shine. And that's something they were looking for to make the old core comfortable. And you could see it from the stats. And in terms of pickup, I think that Lasmo is doing really well, just like he was doing in the WC. I'm a little bit more skeptical about Asa. Now, don't get me wrong, he's on the hard job. He's replacing Shinka on hard support. But he's really been struggling, especially I think in the entry department. He should not be losing and having open death. And he had a lot already in the WC and already 3 in the first VO1. So that's an issue for him.
The one thing that really impressed me about Wolves yesterday was their style. They kept it quite clean. They kept it very mistake-free. They were together. They were playing for refrags. Now, that's not the Wolves that we kind of know and love. The Wolves that we know and love often didn't do that. They played a little bit fast and loose. They let rounds go, and then they had to rely on the individual talent of the guy on your screen there, Deadshot, and Mowgli to pull them out of these situations. It didn't feel like that was the case yesterday. It felt like a much more well-rounded team. So I'm hoping they follow that up.
Yeah, expectations were certainly low after EWC, and they showed us something fresh, no pun intended. Let's now move on to VP. Their first outing, as I've already said here, for Stage 2. Fresh, let's set the table for these guys.
Yeah, so these guys, obviously, you know, we've not seen them over the summer. They didn't qualify for Manchester. I think the last time we saw them at international play was that epic Saturday out in Sao Paulo in Brazil at SI, where they unfortunately, you know, the reverse sweep happened to them from W7M and they didn't make it to the final. But we know and love these guys. They've been there forever. This core of players has been together forever. But their back's up against the wall now. They didn't have a great Stage 1. They didn't make Manchester. They didn't make EWC. There's a lot of pressure because we're so used to seeing them at the 6th Invitational.
I feel like it's a team that always struck together. It's one of the only roster that back against the wall didn't make any roster changes. They kept together because they've been through the highest highs and the lowest lows. And
which is always nice to see.
It's nice to see because when you see the talent on that team, you just don't think that's the problem. I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is deep down their playstyle. And it always has been their strengths and their biggest weaknesses. Because as we advance in the game, more maps gets added, more content gets added, more operators gets added. And because they rehearse so much, it's so hard for them to learn by heart everything. The more you add content to the game, the harder it gets for them to get better.
Is their map pool a problem, Fresh?
I think it is. I think building on what Leo said, if you look at the maps, especially new maps into the map pool, we see that VP don't bring the new maps in. So if we go top to bottom, Nighthaven, the newest map, they've never played it. A Consulate, Skyscraper and Border, from when this team could have played it in EUL, it's taken them on average 2 months to bring it in and play it. So 61 days, 60 days and 70 days for Consulate. Theme Park, the map that was added in the same time as Skyscraper and Border, again, never played. So in the context of this, we're going to see Oregon go out, which was a staple for VP, and Lair come in. How long are they going to take to bring this map into their pool? Does that create a significant disadvantage for this team?
It creates 100% a really bad disadvantage because they struggled so hard to innovate on new maps and they were reliant on that old days, years ago, where they used to dominate on the older maps. Clubhouse, Oregon, like you mentioned, Coastline. Every time an old map gets removed, it's harder for them. At the same time, I feel like we're judging him a little bit too harsh, maybe. I think in scrims they've been doing really well lately. And don't mind you, they actually went to play against BDS in EWC quals and they almost prevented BDS to qualify to AWC.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
That would have been crazy. They actually beat them 2-0 and then faced them again and only lost 2-1. It was very close. So they still seem to be in the shadows in really good shape.
Well, in the context of what you were just discussing of their map pool, it's very interesting now to get into picks and bans here going into this matchup, Fresh. I'm sure you're looking forward to seeing where we're going.
What a surprise.
Yeah. So let's look at VP's bans. Let's just focus on them. They ban away Labs, the most recent map into the pool before Lair. They ban away Lair. And then Consulate and Skyscraper, all of the newer maps in the pool that we say they don't like. Why is this important? Because if you're Wolves, you know that of the traditional maps, you're going to have your choice because VP will ban away all the new maps for you. And therefore, Wolves just choose their favorite traditional map. That's going to be Clubhouse.
So what is Wolves doing? They exactly go in there. And they have 8 wins on Clubhouse in 2024. They picked it 5 times. It's their home. And yes, historically, Virtus.Pro used to be really good at the map. But let's be real. lately they haven't been good at all. So going there is more of a comfortable pick for Wolves than one for Virtus.Pro. Now, it's a BO1, they had 4 bans. Of course, Virtus.Pro were gonna land on a map they would like, but at the same time, is it really worth it to go against one of your opponent's best map? Guess we'll see.
All right, it's time to see right now. It is VP versus Wolves with Devin Pengu. There they are.
Thank you very much. Sorry, I wasn't sure if it was like what we're going to be like.
Yeah, I wasn't, but now I know we can have a nice conversation. Pengu, what's your prediction?
Oh man, I don't even know. I just want to see VP actually do well because they're my boys from back in the day, you know?
Dev, how about you?
Yeah. We were actually talking about this, me and Nick, where I'm kind of still stuck in the past. Like, for me, the glory days were like 2019, back when Pengu hadn't been washed up and decided to start casting with B-tier casters. Back when he was at the peak of his power. And you know who else was back then as well? These VP guys back when they were with Empire. So I really have a soft spot for them. We haven't seen them play yet. Wolves had a pretty solid showing yesterday. So yeah, I'm keen to see how these two teams stack up against each other.
Pengu, I've seen you in the gym. You're still at the peak of your powers. I'll let you get into this now, guys. Dev, Pengu, take us through it.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank you very much, Ian. He's been such a sweetie. I love that
so
for him.
great.
Every time Ian's on broadcast, just any anxiety, it just slips away, and all I see is that beautiful mug. But it's time to get into Clubhouse. What a big matchup. It is Wolves and Virtus.Pro, 2 legendary names within European Rainbow Six Siege. And it is a match as old as time. So many times have we seen them play against each other. In stage 1, it was an 8-7 in favor of Wolves, but VP will be hunting for revenge and for redemption after failing to make the Manchester Major. They need a stellar performance here in EUL for a shot at 6 Invitational.
I really don't have any real expectations for this one. As you said, VP didn't play yesterday. I'm curious if they've changed up a lot of the fundamentals, how they approach the game, or if it'll be the classic same old, where they have some very clear struggles, like in the map pool department that got us here to Clubhouse. So I'll just look towards Wolves. I hope that they're just gonna swap in the 2 new players and say, you know what, this is gonna be your job, this is what you're gonna do. Because losing Bibu and Shinga, it might have a big effect on them, but last month, Asa has been pretty good so far. They've been aggressive, they've been confident, and I feel like the Wolfpack hasn't changed all that much. They still hunt together, they play together, and they have good timings and communication.
Very much so. And that's why I wonder how much VP have changed, because in terms of roster, yeah, they certainly haven't changed. In fact, the last move that these guys made was in December 2022. That's 629 days as a roster of 5 for this squad. So what can we say for change? Well, VP, they're an old roster, they've got history. Are they going to adapt when things need to change? Well, in terms of map picks, we certainly haven't seen that in the past.
Was it the joystick change that was the most recent or no?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, right, like he did like the coaching thing and the playing thing, like he did a whole...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I was gonna check
a funny little roundabout thing where like the old Empire roster slowly got picked up by VP as fast as was possible according to the roster rules at the time.
Doorway secured.
It's always tricky with roster changes, you know, is it the right thing, is the wrong thing? Operator ban today have been... It's his second Blitz ban today. What is going on? I know Shields are strong, guys, right? It was Monty for a long time. Now Blitz is taking over instead. I respect it, right? On Clubhouse, the rushes that we know Wolves did with the previous roster on Jacuzzi for a gym attack or basement through dirt, for example, a basement attack, that's where Blitz enables their team. So VP, they want to slow things down kind of and also make things easier. Both Kaid and Tubera being banned means breaching those walls will be a whole lot easier. But because Maverick is also banned out, it will mean that bandit tricking can still be attempted by both teams on their defense side.
Speaking of defense for now, looks like Wolves have set up for a little piece, potentially jump out. We have P4 still in kitchen with the window prepped for a vault. And the Solus was gaining a lot of information from stock as well. Not only to enable shooting of drones upstairs, but also to help potentially P4 get an early spring onto someone outside kitchen. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen as Mowgli once again tries to support. He gets info on a player outside of lobby. It does have the ability to fall back at any moment, but so far Wolves are still feeling pretty comfortable.
I like this. You're playing the kitchen hatch, you're playing, blue hatch, and you can just jump out the kitchen window and get the opening pick here. P4, big surprise in the server, because why would he even be there? That doesn't make any sense. What it does is that it works. That's opening pick there for Wolves.
That is so good. We saw that very early on. P4 had been in kitchen the whole round, and as soon as we had the information from Mowgli that someone was outside stock on that side, quick jump out, straight back in, straight down the hatch, and safe as houses. Beautiful work from Wolves so early on as they peel back their defense, set up a few late reinforcements as they forfeit map control. Virtus.Pro now have to look to fight back.
Virtus.Pro, they, at least historically, they've been a team that likes to keep things the same. Like we keep saying, the rosters, but more importantly, their playstyle, how they attack, where they attack, what ops they play. Wolves right now, oh my god, it almost worked. I was gonna say, they keep trying to catch them by surprise. First, the kitchen window jump out. Now, the bottom main staircase swing with the Ram Boogie Drone, destroying the floor right above that player, but they are ready for it, holding that angle. Just costing a bit of health there on Pasha, but they're back to a 4v4 with 45 seconds. Pop open those hatches. The big question now, whether you're gonna strike, or is Mowgli gonna do Mowgli things and just somehow strike first?
Yeah, it is so Mowgli. He's just sitting underneath this open hatch, and he does find a pick for it. Good on him. He had a phenomenal game yesterday. He's looking to continue the trend today. Wolves have the numbers advantage, and Mowgli's looking so keen here with this P90. But Joystick edging his way on forward. Buck going to be swung shortly. Virtus.Pro have good positions. With Asset down, Mowgli needs to make good on this swing. Goes in for a second, and he does get it. Another one for Mowgli. Of course, the Wolves unstoppable, as always, hunting as a pack. Is up to always, and he cannot make his way forward. P4 closes the rounds for Wolves. A solid joint effort from him and Mowgli to lock out the opener.
Before this game started, you and I did. We spoke about Mowgli and his stat line and what kind of P4 and what kind of player that he is. He's literally droning in the server, checking those scout cams, and now also fixing his real life camera as well to look beautiful. There, oh, we're almost there.
There
yes,
we go.
That looks good. Yes, let's go. But Mowgli having a Mowgli statement in the very first round. He's such a high impact player. And, it's the players like the Sports, like the Shikos, those flashy, you peek a lot of things, you get a lot of kills, high success, and it's incredibly difficult to do. It looks simple, right? Just, swing everything you can and win your gunfights. But doing it as consistently as someone like Mowgli is, against as good players as he is as well, that's incredibly difficult, and yet he makes it look so easy every single time.
And these plays are so calculated as well, right? Like, you look at that cheeky little set piece we had from Kitchen and Stock. Both of the hatches open. You'd usually reinforce them. Instead, you've got a player in both of those rooms looking to bait each other, essentially. And as soon as the Stock player knows there's someone outside his door, that's immediately the call from P4 to go for a jump out. And Virtus.Pro, like, they are the masters of doing the default, the more typical setups. Like, they will grind something so hard to know how to perfect what everybody does. So when you throw a spanner in the works, like Wolves are doing, that immediately counters VP's playstyle. I love it. And look, yeah, that might not work again. You can't run that strat again for Wolves. Doesn't matter, it works once, that's all it needs to.
That's a one-off, it's what we call a pocket strat, but I call it at least. And, we saw the wild game against Ents and Chalet just a few minutes ago. I spoke about how Monty can kind of deal with the aggression when they're in your face here, and VP, they go back to my days, okay? They have seen the same thing where aggression's a problem, bring out the Monty here. Really good problem-solving skills against the Bandit Triggin rather as well, where you're gonna Sophia stun the drone hole to basically stop P4 from successfully Bandit Triggin, opens up the wall. That's step one done. But if you're not a super coordinated team or don't have that droned out, you'll get bandit tricked, lose your first extended charge, and maybe lose 20, 30, 40 seconds in the round as well. And you see what Wolves are doing. They're putting up layers like an onion. They got the main wall reinforced. They're bandit triggering it. That's step one. When that gets popped open, they fall back to step two. That's what we see right here. Deployable shield top red. 3 roamers playing extended together. Big thing here, Mowgli and Asami can keep it off the wall for the run back, but he's now dead. These players might be stuck. They're out.
Thankfully, I think they have just slipped through as you said that. Unfortunate timing for you there, Nick, but they did get out in the nick of time. And it does leave Wolves with a consolidated effort on the bomb site, but VP, of course, very quick to snap up this map control and start droning ahead. Like, this is just so classic from them. They've got plenty of drones still available, 6 still up. all deployed, and guess who's back? It's Joystick on the big Montaigne. Your favorite, Nick.
I love this, and this is prime Monty position, by the way. You get the 5 versus 4 opening pick. Now you're just a walking, unkillable drone. And big thing to note right now, Joystick doesn't have diffuser. That means one of two things. Either they go into the master bedroom door, and Pasha and Ibana will plant right behind the Monty, right there in that doorway, because Monty can block all the bullets. Or Monty will just walk in deep, create chaos, and create distractions to then enable his teammates to be successful in the round. There are mirror windows though, so if you know this, you should take Office. That's what Justice is gonna do, but he needs backup.
This is great. He's got lots of information. Meanwhile, the Twitch drone has opened up all the Vulcan canisters on site as well, and can look to try and put some pressure on here on these mirror windows. Nice shots from Always. However, a big C4 not only takes down the Monty at Joystick, but Pasha as well. Beautifully played there from Wolves, and it looks like they might have salvaged the round too. Lasmo needs to find another one. He does get traded on back. And perhaps it is redeemable now for VP after the blunder with that C4 coming on through. It's up to Shepard and Dan to pick the pieces together, but Asa springs into action, finds the final 2 kills, and Wolves fend off what really should have been a VP round.
It really should have been. You're exactly right. They had Goyo, Deadshot, stuck in the corner Office. They had Monty pushing into Office as well, with 2 players behind him, but the C4 takes down the push. That leaves the last player Office on the hatch, has to drop, gets swung, dies mid-air, and it all falls apart. And it looked really solid, but there was one thing that nobody really caught. Not me, not you, I don't think the observers either. That C4 downstairs might have been pre-placed, might not have been, but either way, that completely saved the round for Wolves. And once again, they have an answer in some really small way, yet with a massive impact for 2 rounds in a row.
Very much so. Good start for Wolves. Like, I'm just impressed by the sheer fact that VP can have such a solid start to the round, and Wolves will be completely unfazed.
But that's such a Wolves thing as well, I feel like, you know? And my big question for them was, you know, when you change out the, let's say the really OG core of that roster, right? Bibu, the captain, the AGL, the hype man, the everything, right? He was so many things to that roster. When you change him out, it's gonna leave a big gap of things missing, but also a possibility to grow into a different kind of team because you have such a big gap. And it seems like Wolves, they had maybe a clash of how they wanted to approach the game from like a fundamental level, how aggressive you should play, or what kind of plays you should be making, or again, where the line in the sand is for your decision making. And it does seem like Wolves are just a little bit more aligned. I mean, it's early to say. They haven't played a major, they haven't played, you know, really high-stakes games so far, but they have done a good job in their first game and so far in the first 2 rounds, and just seeming like this actually makes sense for what they're showing us.
Very in sync is this team. Of course, defense is always where you're going to be a little bit more comfortable on Clubhouse, but VP are no slouches on attacking this map. They've been doing this for years and years and years. They were one of the pioneers and refiners of how to play this map. We've seen that. And often they do have responses to what Wolves set up, right? Like the Monty last round was a really nice pick. The Twitch was so impactful at clearing out a lot of util as well. And as always, they're so good at droning. They've got information here on the Solus of Mowgli downstairs. They need to find some way to push him out. They do eventually get that kill confirmed. Good job from Dan. The most dangerous player on Wolves, at least typically, is taking down the other most dangerous player, is P4, and he actually dies trying to go for a bandit juggle. A little bit of an unforced error there from Wolves does leave them in a very shallow position.
It's worth noting that they had barricaded the door from top red towards the bandit trick to not get Sophia stunned, but that same barricade ends up basically killing P4 because he can't run away. He got stuck running into the doorway itself, so bit of an unfortunate situation there, but good punishment. And you said it, VP, there are no slouches, they know how to attack Clubhouse, and this right here is Joystick and Dan putting up that S-tier performance.
This round is done. Joystick coming in for a third. Lasmo finds one. Cut off, fired off, and eventually taken down. Great round there from VP, just showing us what they're worth. The second round was a little bit of a disappointing one. VP looked like they had it for a moment, then Wolves clawed it back. The first round was pretty abysmal from the get-go for VP. Wolves always in control. And now we see the story has flipped. 3 rounds into the game, VP have found their feet. And I think, Pengu, I think we are in for quite a back-and-forth matchup.
I certainly could expect that, to be honest. And the one thing I would love to see here, maybe from Wolves, but could be from either team, I want to see a bar defense. I am sick and tired, okay, sick and tired to my guts about CCTV, because it plays out in such an awkward fashion for defenders, because you can't really hold catwalk, you can't really hold the Roma master bedroom. The bomb site itself has such few playable positions, and what happened in that previous round, I wrote in my notes, classic CCTV defense round. It's just a bloody murder early on. People dying left and right, you have nowhere to play, etc. Show me a bar. Someone, please.
Yeah, look, I'd love to see it as much as you, but it will really hinge on these next 2 rounds because, of course, Wolves now have the ability to go back down to the basement. Win or lose this round, they'll have Gym Bedroom back open again. And only if they win these next 2 rounds will they have to consider going to CCTV or bar. I wouldn't be surprised if we see bar. It just depends, like, obviously, roster changes. You have to relearn and potentially remake a lot of strats and teach the new team everything. So I'm not sure if they'll be ready to do that with Lasmo and Asa, but I guess we'll see. For now, though, VP get a second attempt. Wait, is he? Has he actually been snuck by?
So Asa visually snuck by the drone, but Shepard heard him by the looks of this. So this is a bit of a mind game. They don't know 100% if Asa is actually there or if they misheard something. But also Asa knows the drone is there, so he doesn't want to move an inch to make any sound. So this is a big guessing game. If VP beats this correctly, Asa might be dead. But if Asa has the patience, because look at this, Shepard is just sitting and watching drones and doing a good job, to be fair, but he's wasting time right now, basically, making Shepard unable to play the game. Wait, is Dan okay? He was like breakdancing on the floor there.
Dan is getting Moglied, and you are never okay when you are getting Moglied. I don't know how he's finding the... Oh, I think Dan must have been on drone, and so Mowgli saw him with the solar scan.
Yeah.
Asa's gone for a run out, though, so he has snuck out from Strip. Does lose his life, though. Good trade, almost. However, Mowgli bites off a little bit more than he can chew as Pasha comes in for it, and VP have read this aggression from Wolves like a book. Desperate now, Deadshot looks to try and go for a confirmation of his kill, but he himself gives up his life. And not a single player has been on the bomb site, and yet everyone from Wolves has dropped. It's a 1 versus 5, and I don't think P4's got in him.
If the term trying too hard could be visualized in a video, I think this is it. They were trying too hard to take down Dan breakdancing outside the main door. It cost 4 players their lives, and look at where it got them. Poor P4, man.
They're literally planting on site right now, and he's just being harassed by this Twitch. This is pure comedy, bro. Dan literally has not seen anybody. He's still outside the building. P4's being abused. He somehow gets a kill while blind. 4 more to go. Another drone taken down. He's not in the best position. The gas is a cheeky idea, though. But, I mean, he's so trapped out. He's going to have to try and retake in a 1 versus 4. He's revealed by the Bees. It's a formality for VP to lock this out.
Oh, it absolutely is. And Wolves, they know this as well. This is what we call a... Dan's gonna keep going.
Get him! I think he only has taken damage from the Twitch drone this round, by the way.
Oh, my God. I love this. Dan did so much, yet didn't do anything in this round, and that solidifies it. VP to get their second, and oh man, I wish I was Dan there. Just laying down, everyone's dying, jumping out, Pasha covering, and it was Strip, it was pool table window, it was like the main door, it was garage wall, it was literally everything happening in one spot.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody died out in the motorcycle area, didn't they? Yep. Like attack, defense. Yeah, it was that was a strange round. I don't think I've ever seen a round of Siege quite like that before. I don't know how I can stop myself from laughing, but you looked at the VP cameras and they're just all like so cold. They do not care. They really don't see the humor in it. This is just another day in the office.
They're probably sitting there like, what are these guys doing? Are they stupid? Like,
what are they doing? Are they stupid? They're running out on me. What the?
It's like, they know I hold angle. Why they run out? It's like, this is what VP are known for, right? They're known to hold angles and wait for something to happen. And I almost want to say that this wouldn't have happened if Bieber was here. And that's not like a jab at him getting kicked or anything else, or they part ways with him. It's more like, I feel like this might be one of the differences between the new roster and the old one. Where is the line in the sand? What is too much to commit? I get it. The first player died, they tried to trade. At that point, they lost 2 players. They might as well full commit because, let's be honest, they're not supposed to win a 3 versus 5. that early when it all goes sideways. So they're just gonna full commit all 5 people. It makes sense. But I feel like the quote-unquote old Wolves would have had a more quote-unquote sensible approach to it, where there's still gonna be a chance even if they lose 1 player early on. That was a full commitment. I respect it, but also super exciting to watch.
Well, guess who's back? Back again, Monty. Joystick was C4'd last time, and our observer told me it was actually the Bandit who dropped down below during that retreat. And he was actually in bar for most of the rounds here when the defensive gym bedroom went down, and he just rotated into kitchen to deploy that C4 and find 2 kills on the back of it. It was hugely impactful. VP will just have to be a little bit more wary of the players downstairs this time around, but it's been slower thus far. P4 really nicely repelled thanks to the Zofia. And that does enable a breach for VP and an opening pick. It's Mowgli again going down.
This is really, like, this is the thing. When you play against a player like Mowgli, who is, let's say, a star player for his team, if you can shut him down effectively, this is what happens. Mowgli, 3 kills in the opening round, 4 deaths, 0 kill stints, basically. Pure counterplay here and shutting him down, not allowing him to breathe in the server effectively. And this is, again, VP, they're just doing the really simple step 1, step 2, step 3. And some people might be watching this and go, why do they keep bringing out the Bandit if VP keep opening up the wall? Bandit's not here to stop the wall from getting opened up. It's about wasting time and resources like the Zofia stuns, the Zofia self-destruction, and force VP to problem solve essentially very early on the round. Siege is much of a mental game here. You can literally starve someone mentally where it's so frustrating to play in the server because of all the things that are happening that you gotta keep track of. Wolves doing a good job, but VP, they know all the key counters here to make their attacks work. He chose the canister over the mirror window, by the way. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, he really only had time to shoot one of those at the Twitch, but... oh, look at this. Always actually rotated over to where the Bandit was last time. So, yeah, I mean, P4's at the top of the stairs, and, of course, Wolves were a player down thanks to Mowgli dying early. So I actually say these guys are in a really solid position. I'm not sure if the Twitch has any drones still out, but never mind, because Dan has been taken down thanks to Asa. P4 snuck really deep as well. Joystick, aggressive in the position, takes mantle of this mirror window. Here is C4, but I think it must be dead at this point. And VP looking like they can march on forward. Wolves are in a real spot of bother, and as the time ticks down, it's really on VP to continue marching forward. 2 players trapped in the bathroom, the last 2 remaining, both of them trying to work together. A 1v1 here, as Asta does get traded on back. A messy round, to say the least, but Pasha's fired up for it because VP have taken the lead.
This is so chaotic. I keep thinking you can go for a plant on gym window, on master door. You can take office with the Monty. You got jacuzzi breach open. They got the injure on Goyo. It looks like such a solid round for VP, and it comes all the way down to a I don't even know what, but complete chaos in the server. And I didn't even know the mayor was hiding in the bathroom stall the entire time. I was thinking, Joystick, what are you doing? Go in there, melee the warden, bro. Help your teammates. But he knew more than we did. He knew that was a bait. Mira was trying to trade out with the Monty. They both made the right decision, but VP's team play was excellent in that round.
Yeah, man. Excellent team play and great conversion of their advantage. Great way to march on forward and take control of office. But I'm going to admit, scary that it came down to a 1 versus 1. It really did not feel like it should have. But a round win is a round win. And after what started so convincingly from Wolves in the first 2 rounds, for VP to now be in the lead, it really speaks volumes for this team's adaptability.
I would love to hear...
Hyped, bro.
Actually, I would love to know both Russian and French, and then hear the player come side by side or, you know, back to back, because I'm curious how you handle that. Because, I mean, I'm a former player myself, but often, I'm not gonna lie, you don't even hear the comms. You play off the feeling and, like, you know what your teammates are gonna do, what they're supposed to be doing. You play off instinct, if you will. But it must... Okay.
Specchio looking out.
Broken's gotta stop missing out.
Mowgli being Mowgli, bro.
Wallbanging people, poor Pasha taking a bit of damage there. But this is Shepard. Shepard is maybe the support player that I always think of when I think of support players nowadays. This guy spends spends more than half the round on drones. When the round starts, he sits on those pre-placed rotation drones. He flicks between 2 or 3 separate ones across the map like you see right now. Hey guys, there's a guy master bedroom. That's the Mozzie. Flicks camera. Oh, strip is clear. Okay, now we know that. And he doesn't need to move unless he has to breach something when the team is ready for it. Essentially what he has is very limited wasted movement. Every single second of the round, his action have immediate effect on his teammates or himself and always progressing things forward for them. And that's what a great support player should be doing. But there's not many built like Shepard these days.
Yeah, and it does enable VP to play this playstyle where they do a lot of holding angles and a lot of really well reading where these players are because they've got the information to make those reads. And Wolves are a team that, as we've seen these last few rounds, get a little bit of ants in their pants. They like to make moves, and if VP know where those moves are going to be made, they'll find some free kills. Now, Asa is a great example of that. He's here inside of Bar, and if he's been droned, if his position has been accounted for, he should be a free kill.
But it hasn't so far. Wolves have done a great job at like moving around a lot, causing a lot of noise and distraction. And Shepard's not been entry droning a whole lot. He's been holding the flank cam, so Asa should be good for one. In a perfect world, we'll find more though.
Oh no!
Forgets it. It's okay for now. He has to find a way out or one more kill, or it'll be the grave. Grave it is.
Indeed. However, taking down the Hibana is one of the highest priority players. Wait, did he actually take down Joystick?
Yeah, no,
they traded directly.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, in that case, Asa, great job. Yeah, that's a huge benefit to his team. And it does, of course, leave VP with only the 2 Selmas from the ace left over as hard breach. This is going to be a very hard attack. I think Wolves are likely to equalize here.
Yeah, this is gonna be a run down the main hallway, maybe push blue or something like that. You can't really go kitchen hatch, you can't open it up. Moto hatch you can go for, but a single door leads to the bomb side. Toxic babes gas coming out as well. This I like though. The shotgun from above for a back B entry, smoke as well. They have a plan, they have their eyes on it, they're gonna go for it with 10 seconds left.
Nice smoke down the main hallway. Another smoke as well enables his plant position from Shepard. Surely it won't work. VP just need to hold on, but Dan's been C4'd out. The plant can still go down. And now rotation for always. Shepard won't last long on the site. That goated support player does the diffuser, but he's not able to hold in the post plant. Good retake from Mowgli. And always could not hold his nerve. A solid round from Wolves. They didn't get too worried about that plant going down. A retake is on the cards.
Really impressive retake and really impressive problem solving from Virtus.Pro especially. They took maybe 4 or 5 seconds when things really went south and said, you know what, this is plan C, because plan A was not going to work and plan B was shot as well. And it was immediate shotgun verticality, smokes out, Shepard knew where to go, everybody was just aligned on what the next objective was going to be. But they didn't have the manpower advantage for it, and they also lost a lot of their health just during the fray of all that. I think both players, Planter and Cover, were in sub 30 health, so even if they came into a decent position, 1 bullet and you're out, and when you have 4 defenders chasing you down, they will hit, especially when they're Wolves players, they will hit at least one of those.
Yeah, and for VP, like, yeah, I'm impressed by their ability to try and bring something back there, but Wolves had such a strong early advantage, and it came down to this moment, really. Like, Asa not only taking down the Hibana, one of the core hard breaches, but also taking down this kill right here. Let's see if we can spot it. Yeah, I mean, barely.
Yeah.
I could barely tell that he actually landed that kill there, but that's the vector for you, I guess.
Pirate, man, it goes crazy in Rainbow Six Siege. I love it. And, I mean, you said we might... Oh, here we go again. Yeah, it's still one. And then look, watch the last bullet. He like makes this micro adjustment right at the end, straight to the head. Bang, as he dies.
I can't even see that.
I mean, that's
so
like
fast,
pixel
bro.
perfect, basically. But you said might be in for a close game. It's now tied up 3-3. It's anyone's game. I personally believe that Clubhouse is an attacker-favored map if you are a good attacking team. But it's not that easy. Flashbang goes out, jump on in, gets
no.
has it down for the count. Joystick, he owns Blue Staircase, and he's playing Warden, by the way.
Yeah. Look, flashbang and quick entry was a nice idea, but you can't do that against a Warden. Fortunately for Mowgli, he doesn't do enough damage to kill Joystick, but he does take him extremely low HP. And here comes a quick rotation from the rest of VP to give up this roam game. They've got a numbers advantage, and they can slink their way back towards the basement.
A little bit surprised at just how different that is, right? If Wolves were defending right now and they got that pick, they would stick around because, hey, we got the numbers advantage. VP playing a quote-unquote older style of Siege still, I would argue. They play the manpower advantage. They immediately, all 5 players fall by the side. They have 2/3 roamers playing on the staircases, playing in garage as well. They just want to play this out. The issue for basement clubhouse is you don't have that much playable, positions. The hatches might get opened up. Maybe they go bottom main staircase, make some, church person at triple wall. They have a Munty. So having 5 people fighting for the few really good spots inside, it can get a little bit crowded.
Especially when there's a Monty staring at you from Dirt Tunnel. P4 giving Joystick a little bit of a taste of his own medicine. A lot of options here for Wolves on how they want to play this. The floor of Kitchen minced up, and it looks like Lasmo is going to be the player to eventually go for this diffuser plant.
Trying to think what the approach would be. It's kind of messy. I think, honestly, Wolves, they gotta create some space first. What I mean by that is they gotta get some kills. Bees out, Munty get the intel, drop down the hatch, walk in dirt or something like that, try and get a pick or two, then work from there. Gas being wasted, but Wolves, they need to strike.
Oh, wow. Good trade. Mowgli finds his one, but the pressure as VP look to hold firm. P4 goes in deep, and the Monty does his job. Lasmo's done a bit of work as well. It's always up to always from VP, it seems, but P4 shuts him on down. Beautiful work there from Wolves. In the dire moments, the Monty marches forward, the team collapses, and once again, the lead has been regained by the French.
Such a simple yet beautiful execute on the attacking side, however, because they didn't have many options. Like, planting isn't really anything that's realistic, but I think a lot of teams would default to it, where like, let's just go in, hold F on the keyboard, and pray that your teammates hit their shots. Instead, it was, they're not going to go for the plan at all. They created space, they created chaos, Monty got in, got the job done, and most importantly, also stayed alive. Look at this. In secondary shotgun, hip fire, drop shot gets the kill. Lasmo and Ash finds 2 apiece. The second that Lasmo then starts planting right after, P4 advances forward with the Monty, having no fear, because even if he were to die in that 1v1 encounter, Lasmo will be put into a position where he can play a post-plant 1v1 with a decent gun in a decent position on the map. So full faith, full trust, and that's like a good old Wolves execute, where they just have so much trust in each other and what they need to do in the server.
That's it. Wolves believe in each other. They believe that they each individually are capable of standing up to any player on the opposite team. Like, you're not scared about giving a 1v1 to your teammate by taking a minor risk marching forward on that monster. You believe that you guys have got it. Wolves just that 3-2-1 go, the drop. All at once, the push in from the Monty. It was picture perfect. P4 having a profound impact on this team. Such a good backline player, and he's just helped Wolves unlock a round that certainly didn't need to be there, as VP had such a strong start. And so VP keep changing things up, and they brought quite a spicy strat here. The castle enabling a little bit of a fortress downstairs to try and protect this upstairs bomb site.
Yeah, CCTV being really hard to defend, it often creates, or rather forces teams to try and get a little bit creative with things, which I personally love. Whether it's the mirror window strat or impact and eye back in the day, now reinforcing downstairs with castle, as a very old school strat now being kind of reinvented in the newest stage of Siege. But Wolves, they got tools to the problem. They got Capture Fire, they got the Monty, there goes one fire arrow. Where are you gonna go? In garage? Are you gonna get shot? They left the area, but no, they came on right back. Lasmo gets that pick. Great step 1 there for Wolves. That gives them a lot of space to work with, and more importantly, they have so much time.
Yeah, beautiful. Love that from Wolves. Mowgli, great work with the fire. Lasmo to cut off. Meanwhile, we also had Deadshot moving in from storage, and now a complete pivot for Wolves players ready to try and open up this main wall onto site. Didn't overcomplicate it too early. Now they're getting back to basics. Half the round still to play. Zafir still with concussions, able to deny the bandit juggle, and Shepard is not able to go for the trick. So the wall has been opened.
Yep, very simple. EMP, Sophia stun, exothermic charge, bing, bam, boom. Requires good communication to do it at the right timings, but they get it done. Both teams, in fact, doing a good job here, playing around the Kai 2-barrel Maverick ban, because that's why we're seeing the bandit trick happening so often, and the Sophia Thatcher combo as well, of course, to counter. But here comes the second issue. Monty and Caligraphers eating a couple of goo mines, but the fire's there. Doesn't spread.
Oh no.
However, Dev.
He's dead. Surely.
Oh, this is bad. How? No one helped P4.
This is very awkward, but thankfully P4 can just ADS and kill always. A little bit of support, I believe, from below from Mowgli, but he's been taken down. Wolves still in a very solid position, especially with Deadshot finding that kill. Pasha does have the ability to burn out most of the rest of this round with his gas, and oh no, Lasmo does a double take and finds him. Now Dan in a 1 versus 3 low HP though on P4, the Monty. Not a good operator to have low HP on, as he looks to try and make his way upstairs. Goo mines in pocket, but that is all he can use. He doesn't know it, the Monty is so low HP. Lasmo comes in, a top fragger for the day, and Wolves starting to run away with this matchup. These attacks look untouchable.
Lasmo is really growing on me so far. I mean, he seems like he plays with so much confidence where he doesn't overcomplicate the process. When you enter that main breach, it might seem simple, but you got radio door, the soft wall towards the bomb side, top rate staircase, and top rate rotation. He just does the double take like you said, gets the pick, and also plays with his teammates. And this position here, or this situation rather, has forced VP into a tactical timeout position. Tough.
Certainly need to go back to the drawing board, because it has been tough for VP. Quite a few rounds now where these defenses have just been baseless. Wolves know how to crack these attacks. VP are looking pretty stumped.
It takes me back to that first gym defense, first gym defense for Wolves, for VP. It looked like they had it. That double C4 kill kind of ruined everything, because then you go to that first attacking round for Wolves, where they attack basement. They lose a player early, Joystick gets that kill on the Warden, VP they fall back to side. Looks like VP should have that as well. Guess what? Wolves also clutched that one. If those 2 rounds actually went to VP as they quote-unquote should have, it's a completely different story where Wolves are calling a tactical timeout, they feel like they're on the back end, and their confidence may be a bit shattered. So I feel a bit bad for VP here, but I have to say, these are rounds earned by Wolves playing well, more than VP playing poorly. It's fully deserved.
No doubt about it. Just so beautiful, like every mid-round, like Wolves, they see an opportunity, they see, okay, we've got this player stuck here, there's castle barricades here and here, let's have someone cut off from storage, let's have someone play outside garage, the fire comes in, and he has to move, and then we'll kill him on the rotation. Then once we've got an advantage, we move on to the next thing. Breach open, okay, well, we've exposed another player here on rafters, let's take him down. It's just so picture perfect from Wolves, even when VP have on paper really solid counters, really solid setups. Even when Wolves haven't necessarily had the ability to counter strat, it's not like they're a Vods. VP haven't played many games recently, not since the EWC, of course. And Wolves are yet still so able to quickly adapt on the fly.
Yeah, I think you put it perfectly. Like, it comes down to execution, right? Because they both got the strats, they both have the means, they both have the, I think, the right approach. But the small, finer details often defines a lot right now in the execution of it all. Wolves starting off with, you know, classic step 1, EMP, breach the wall, pop the Goyo fire. Also, worth noting this, I guess, that Goyo fire was put on the breach itself to stop a rush, but the rush is still happening.
Yeah, the rush has come straight up the main stairs, and Wolves have found 2 picks off of it. However, VP are still fighting on back. P4 doing more damage now with the Monty. 2v2, but these defenders are caught out of position and low HP. Always trying to make his way back towards the site, but this plan is going down. Asa is faked off of it again. P4 can feed so much information to his teammate. Joystick needs to come in and support. He's got keeper barriers. They need to start using them. They need to start locking out P4. Always makes his way forward, tries to bait out Asa, but Asa will not be faked. And so the plan has been confirmed. Joystick has gone down below, but it is too late now. And this Monty is going to get very awkward. Hallways does a lot of damage, but still the kill has not come through. He has no gas left to make this work. He has to try and find the shot. No. He almost does, but there's P4 with the knife. Up the Joystick now, and he will be taken out. Wolves, once again, firing up on their attack. Match point as well within their grasp.
Oh man, the devil in the details, the shotgun shell. Usually if you get that opportunity against the Monty, you hit that shot, you get the kill, you put yourself up for success. Instead, It just misses by an inch, by a tiny, tiny margin. And all of a sudden, again, Wolves, they will steal a round that shouldn't have been theirs. VP, the thing is, they're doing things right. They expected a rush. Wolves, they are so known for rushing the gym bomb site from Jacuzzi Breach. So they pop 2 Goyo canisters in the prep phase of the round. It gets opened up by a Selma charge. We see the fire go out, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, nothing's gonna happen for the next 20 seconds because that's how long Goyo fire lasts for. But they rush from main stairs, they rush from office hatch instead. They change where they attack from, but the attack itself does not change. And likely also, the success rate, it stays very high because this seems to always work for Wolves when they go for it.
Yeah, and in that round, a huge ingredient to that was P4 on the Monty again. So he's so good on that operator. Ever since the rework, ever since the way that shields work these days, there are certain players that just get it, and P4 has got it, man.
Oh, in the chat they said balance, and Moki just said ban it. Like, VP banned the Blitz. That's the funny thing. They banned one of the 2 operators.
Ban Blitz and not Monty.
Yeah, and the thing is, if they ban the Monty, they probably get the Blitz. I personally do believe, though, on average, you have a higher value out of banning the Monty because how much safety and space taking it gives you. But the issue really comes, if you have a good shield player, you can bring one if the other is banned. Wolves is showing that. In my notes before this, I have expectations for Wolves. Good timings, good aggression, and a simple swap-in for the new players. I see all of that. My fear was playing scared, small map pool, and maybe a lack of depth in their strategy. But they've not shown me any of my fears. They've only shown me my positive expectations, and they've really impressed me so far, given they have 2 roster changes. Oh, they're fast. Hello?
And they found another pick as well. Mowgli does his job so well on this entry. Another one for him. No, not to be. Always does confirm it, but not without taking a hell of a lot of damage. Back to site now. VP need to conjure up something magical, and so Pasha will go for the flank of his life. But he needs to pray to God that there's no drone on his flank. Actually, doesn't matter about the drone, because guess who's watching him? P4's got the read. There's information on it as well. All P4's got to do is win the fight, but Pasha gets him. And now numbers are even. Perhaps there's a chance for VP here.
Wait a second, though. If Deadshot has to read in the catch, he doesn't. Goes blue stairs instead. Pasha makes it back to side, possibly after all. That might just be what VP needed. Maybe, but at the timing, he goes for the
He's watching the angle. Watching the angle, this is a high damage DMR. He spots him at the timing! Right when he went for the Vulcan canister, it allows the player to fall on back. And now VP might have staved off match point for just a little bit longer.
So, Hibana bugged Dogebi with a call left. I think, given the situation, they might have the best 3 attackers left available. Soft Destruction, Verticality, Hard Reach for the hatches, and a Dogebi phone call for that final bomb site execute. Wolves, they've actually lost the 2 best case scenarios. They lost Ying and Ace, with Ying already spending 2 Candelas for the roam clear. This is great. The only issue I can find right now is time. 35 seconds, then working their way down the main staircase, they're droning things out. They got the final player of Lasmo on the kitchen hatch, likely going for a drop, can try and get out a kill himself maybe, but they have to figure out what's the execution point and what's the distraction point. 2 players bottom main, that's the push. Kitchen hatch, that's distraction.
So we find out whether the new players on Wolves can steal their nerve when the pressure comes through as they make their way on forward. Asa has the diffuser in hand. Deadshot can cover for 1, can cover for 2, and the game is done. Wolves are back in form, my friends. VP have been taken down in their first game of EUL Stage 2, and Wolves are looking phenomenal. 2 big wins in the opening week.
I love that for them, honestly. It's clean, it's simple, it's beautiful, and again, such a fun way to play Rainbow Six Siege. For Virtus.Pro, a lot of questions, right? Their map pool, if they made any significant change to their playstyle, and so far it seems like VP, not that they've been sleeping in the off-season, but I didn't really see what I wanted from them. On the final note there, I guess I also want to say that they did lose a lot of rounds that they basically won, but then lost them shortly after.
It's true. VP got a lot more than they bargained for going to Clubhouse, and I can see why Wolves love this map. Even the new look Wolves looking so good on it. We've got pocket strats galore. We've got Mowgli firing all cylinders, and I gotta say, Asa and Lasmo looking so good today. I was skeptical coming in seeing this new Wolves roster. I didn't know about the new names, and I think I've been proven wrong. But of course, the desk will break that down further. Ian, what do you guys reckon?
Dev, thank you very much. Pengu, you too as well. Wolves make it 2 for 2. VP lose their first matchup here in the second stage. And Wolves, 6 points on the board, Fresh.
Yeah, it was absolutely excellent. Once again from Wolves. I think, you know, I speak for pretty much everybody that's saying Wolves really are a pleasant surprise so far this stage, especially given how they crashed out of EWC. I think it started off with some explosive defense coming out of Wolves. VP was their usual selves. You know, you get a level of consistency from them. Once Wolves had achieved that 3-3 split on defense, they managed to abuse the Monty, and they did, let's be fair. They abused the Monty for 3 rounds to bully VP, and then the very final round here, very, very smart crossfire and setting up and execute. Wolves seemingly, so far from what we've seen of these 2 play days, have got absolutely everything.
And look what it means. They're absolutely buzzing about it. You mentioned explosive defense there. Leo's standing by with more on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the biggest reasons why Wolves were able to beat them is how were they able to be disruptive. When you look at the playstyle in Virtus.Pro, it's very step by step. If you can get rid of 1 or 2 players in step 1, that's going to hinder them way more than many other teams in step 2 or step 3. Now we're looking at Clubhouse, and it's a very first round. And usually when we see Clubhouse basement, either you have a turtle or you have a full roam clear, a full roam extension. Now we have a hybrid, and it's important to note that they're only holding kitchen and holding stock. What they want to do with it is burn time, burn drones, and then drop safely back to site, because 2 of these rooms, they have a direct hatch to site. So Mowgli gets rid of the drone on Dan, and Dan knows that Mowgli is in stock now. And what they don't know about it is Mowgli is the perfect bait. See all the drones running towards him, trying to remove this player. Oh yes, of course, there's this player in stock, we need to remove him. And what this means is Dan is looking for this kill. He's looking for this kill, but what he doesn't know is he's actually in a crossfire. Mowgli is the bait. But P4 here can jump out of the window and they can pinch this player. And now that's exactly what they were looking for. Dan here is Capitao, huge utility that won't be available on the bomb site when P4 kills him. At this point, Mowgli drops directly from stock. And that's an easy one. P4 can go and hide, try to burn a little bit more time. If a drone comes here, he can shoot it. Or maybe if they don't drone him, he can get another pick. Now, no drones will see him. They actually see him. He drops. At this point, what do we learn? From a very basic extension into kitchen, into stock, 2 hatches that are soft, they actually get the opening pick, burn 1 minute on the table, and that only costs them 2 hatches. Something that's really easy to replicate in ranked. Now, if you want more reasons for why Wolves were able to beat Virtus.Pro, let's discuss it more on the desk.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Wolves are just absolutely cooking on gas right now, Fresh.
Yeah, they've been amazing. I think we challenged them, right, when they changed into this Wolves roster, when they changed out the 2 players, especially a leader and Bibu, where are they going to go from here? And I think they've really tightened the bolt. They've really cut out all of their mistakes, and they're playing fundamentally great Siege. So
far, with their changes, their roster moves, you're feeling confident, right?
I'm feeling confident. I think, like I said, they had that big awakening, right?
Yeah.
They had the honeymoon phase. They qualified to EWC. They got to the event, and they were absolutely awful at EWC, as we welcome Leo back. They were absolutely awful at EWC. But that's the big mental block gone, right? They've had that moment. They've had, oh my God, we were terrible. Cool, let's get on it. Let's start working towards our goals. And I think we can see that clear as day.
Yeah, actually, what I find the most impressive in here is, you know, that first round in defense. That's one way, one cheeky way to get disruptive. What's more important is in the long run, in the attack as well, with the Monty, with their ability to find other ways to be disruptive. That's what I loved with them. And most importantly, they could all get behind that play style, all get behind the same game plan. And that's the cohesion we were looking for in attack for Wolves that was missing before.
And it's a very different game playing up against VP as to playing most other teams in the league. They played against ITB yesterday, right, who can play quite direct, can play quite individual. VP do not do that. VP tend to take their time. They go long. They play as a team. They play together. And it's a very different read in the game of Siege. One opponent into another opponent 2 days back to back. And Wolves passing both of those tests makes it very impressive for me.
VP didn't pass their first test here, did they, all Leo?
Yeah, Wolves were really prepared, to be honest. I think that's one of the reasons why we discussed why map pool is a big reason, or a big blow, I think, for Virtus.Pro is when you're a team that's going to face Virtus.Pro, you know you're preparing a BO1. You know that Virtus.Pro always plays the same way. So it's one of the easiest teams to counter-strat, actually, with this choosy plays. And the reason for this is because Virtus.Pro's map pool is so shallow, teams can very easily predict which 2 or 3 maps they're going to play and then can rehearse counter-strat specifically for this playday.
Do you think that they're going to be potentially stuck in the mud a little bit, Fresh, for not evolving quickly?
Well, this has always been the argument for Virtus.Pro, right? This has always been the argument, is that map pool's an issue, playstyle's an issue, this, that, and the other. The one thing that they fundamentally always had going for them, in my mind, was their team play together was better than anybody else's in Siege. Having considered the last 6 months, I'm not so sure that that holds up against a lot of other teams now. I think a lot of other teams have improved at a faster rate. Virtus.Pro have got the quality. There's no doubt in that. We've seen them 6 Invitational Finals. They were SI 3rd place, 4th place this year. But again, it's another game where we're kind of saying the same things, that they're being caught by the same limitations.
And you've got to ask yourself, is it really the key to stick with the same players? Because it seems to be a consistent problem through the years. Now, I'm not saying this BO1 is the reason they need to make a roster change.
Of course.
I think just in general, that stage and the fact that it still seems that they're missing something, I feel like they would need some young, fresh blood, maybe someone that has great vision, that can speak Russian, and that knows a lot about the game, and they can adapt, they can change their playstyle. Because right now, this rehearsed, step-by-step playstyle is just not going to cut it at the top-tier level of Europe.
But the thing is, you know, on the flip side, I think we're all admirers of the fact that they've stood by their roster and they're loyal to them. So we'll see what happens over this stage. Now, I know that there's a certain player that you were very impressed with here, Lasmu, right?
Yeah, I thought he was excellent. So, you know, we've highlighted him again in that he's a new player that came into this roster. There's big shoes to fill because Wolves didn't make roster changes for the longest time, right? They stuck with the same core. They've made big, drastic changes, and he's the one at the spearhead of it. And again, he's had another great day today. I think some of the covering fire and some of the kind of cross plays and team play that he's setting himself up for with his teammates today was excellent.
Shout out to Lasmu and shout out to P4, who joins us now on the show for a bit of an interview before we move on to the second half of the play day. P4, how are you doing? You must be loving life right now. 2 very successful days of Siege for you guys.
Yeah, hello, yes. Yeah, I'm very happy with the yesterday and today with 2 wins. Beautiful day.
I think first of all, I want to say I'm really happy. You know, I love this team. I love you guys. I also know that it should have been really hard for you guys to get rid of Bibu and Shinka with so many years together, with such a big, you know, team achievements, so many qualifications to majors. Can you walk me through the biggest decision? Why did you make it? And why did you choose to stick to French speaking and pick up 2 new guys?
Yes, it's a very hard decision to part away with Shinka and Bibu. But we need to change for have a more new ID and a new play style, new gameplay with the team. And we stay in the French because all Mowgli, me, or Deadshot are more the language is more easy in French for us and for the in-game too.
How much is Montreal on your mind right now?
Big. I want so much go to Montreal.
Yeah, I know, and I'm sure it's not just you, the rest of your roster as well, but I think it's rude here. We've got a French analyst right now, we've got a French player, and the French language is so beautiful, so feel free to ask a question in French, and you can answer in French for our French audience.
Listen, man, I was not supposed to speak in French on the broadcast, but I will do it, especially for Nico, for P4. Je veux dire, déjà, c'est génial que vous ayez piqué ces 2 joueurs. Comment est-ce que tu vois leur développement dans les jours qui viennent? Parce que je vois qu'ils sont de meilleurs en meilleurs. How do you think that the 2 pickups will get better and better in the game? Because I can see their evolution every game day.
Je vois un très gros potentiel en eux et une très grande évolution pour le futur. Ils sont très bien entourés, que ce soit avec le staff ou avec nous. Si on les a pris, c'est pour une bonne raison. Ils ont tous les deux un très gros potentiel et de grande qualité. Et ils peuvent encore évoluer grandement avec nous. C'est que le début et ça commence à se voir déjà avec le travail qu'on fait ensemble. Mais il y a encore du boulot à faire et attendez la suite et je pense que vous n'allez pas être déçus.
I can summarize it very quickly, but they have a lot of quality, they have a lot of potential, and especially in Wolves, they have the staff and the players that has the quality to drive them, develop them into the biggest players. And already there, into the EWC and only 2 play days, you can see the evolution in the players. Let's wait, just wait. In the future, you'll see how much they will develop.
Oui, oui. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir, people.
Thanks.
No
Bye.
worries. Congratulations. All right, we keep the ball rolling here, EUL. If you were thinking of doing something, maybe leaving, maybe doing something that's nothing to do with this, what are you thinking? It's about to get crazy, right?
It's about to get crazy. We have one of the biggest match of the week.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped.
BDS versus G2 is next.